Sorcery Contested Realm's next set, Arthurian Legends, will be releasing on October 4th with a much smaller set size compared to both Alpha and Beta. And the question is, will it be enough? Our immediate answer? Yes, it will be. If you want to know why, check out the video.
Alpha/Beta was a huge set in Sorcery. It's 400 plus cards, so there's a lot of cards to brew from. So our first point concerning Arthurian Legends is that Arthurian Legends is going to be in addition to the already huge core set that we know from the Beta edition. Furthermore, Arthurian Legends might also invigorate some of those cards that haven't seen much play so far in the Sorcery meta, and we're also going to get cards that are going to expand upon already known tactics. So the point we need to make here is that Arthurian Legends is just not a standalone set, it's an additional set to the already known cards from the Beta edition.
So we would like to pose a question to you. Do you think that there might be a sweet spot when we think about the number of cards that there should be in a Sorcery Contested Realm set? And what would that number be? Is it a range, or do you have like a specific number in mind? We would love to hear from you and discuss down the comment section.
If you were part of the Alpha Kickstarter edition, or even the playtesting, you might have been playing Sorcery for over a year now. And we think it's interesting to see that even though some avatars have been favored by the players and the community, no avatar has of yet been ruling all of the meta. So far we are seeing a lot of different synergies and we are seeing a lot of different avatars being used. And that is a testament of a great balanced gameplay in Sorcery Contested Realm.
Over the last year, we have lately seen more and more big tournaments and events happening worldwide, which has been really amazing. At these events, we haven't seen one single deck or one single avatar to really dominate the meta, and it also seems like every time there is a big tournament, it's a new avatar who wins the game and wins the day. And this really is also an interesting way to see that the depth of the card design continues to be able to be explored further and further. This is also another reason that we believe that Arthurian Legends will shape up to hold its own. It has been constructed in terms of design and in terms of gameplay to be a really interesting set for limited, so draft and sealed. But when you add it to already constructed decks, it will revitalize a lot of different strategies and synergies, and also bring new elements into play that's going to make it a really fun set to explore during the next year.
So far we have seen some really unique and powerful sights. We have seen the Love Potion that might revitalize and make Scavenging Fiend relevant in the meta, so we're going to see some of these strategies become relevant. If we also assume that we might see a new avatar in Arthurian Legends, a set of 250 plus cards are going to make a huge impact, especially if we see a new avatar, since a new avatar could open up for even more new venues of play and deck building. And that is the second point we want to make. We want to argue that a set of 250 cards, especially the way that the meta is shaping up, is plenty of cards for a new set to really keep the game going and open up for a lot of new and really interesting gameplay.
If you're getting any value out of this video, please do like and subscribe. It means a lot to us and it really helps out the channel. Thank you. So far, we have only been discussing what Arthurian Legends has to offer for the players of Sorcery. But of course, we also have a lot of collectors, and for most people, we are both collecting and playing the game. We do have one thing that might be something that we could discuss is a good thing, or maybe is it just an okay thing. When you want to collect the full set, both for Alpha and Beta, you really had to go through a lot of boxes if you were insistent on pulling every single card yourself. For most people, we bought boxes, we traded, we sold some cards, we bought some cards. The same is going to be true for Arthurian Legends. If you do want to collect every single card yourself by pulling it, you will have to invest in a lot of boxes. But most likely, what we did with Alpha and Beta will be true for Arthurian Legends as well. We will have to trade, meet new members of the community, and build new bonds, which has also been a part of this amazing experience. So the point being that we might have to buy fewer boxes, but it's not only collecting the full set that really pulls the collectors in. We also have some very powerful pulls in Sorcery specifically, and those would be the chase cards. It could either be full art cards with the foil front, or it could also be some of these chase knights that we've all heard so much about, or even the curios. And if you do want to know more about what curios could show up in Arthurian Legends, We have a video about that we will link at the end. All these things combined will make sure that collectors come back and buy just that extra single box to see if you can crack that curio or get that last chase knight you need to complete your set.
Right from the get-go, even during the Kickstarter campaign, Sorcery Contested Realm was very clear that they were only going to be releasing one set per year. Right now, we only know about Arthurian Legends that it's going to be a 250 plus set. One concern could be that 250 cards might not be enough cards to go on if we only have one yearly release. But we need to remember that even though Arthurian Legends is only 250 plus cards, there's no saying that this is going to be the golden standard for future releases. We might see sets that are just as big at alpha or beta in the future.
Future sorcery sets might have bigger or smaller set sizes compared to both alpha and Arthurian Legends. I think this will really depend on whether or not the theme calls for a bigger or a smaller set, but also if the mechanics and also the gameplay that the dev team want to explore in that particular set needs more or less card to do so. I also think that we should remember that we're getting a Dragonlord mini set, which is 15 cards, and if they decide to do more of these mini sets, it will give these like short injections of new energy and new cards into the meta throughout the year. Maybe if they do one per year or maybe even two per year, we'll have to see. But I do think that it's worth remembering that we could also get a set after Arthurian Legends that might be a huge mammoth the size of either alpha or beta. So the point we're trying to make here is that we don't know what the set size is going to look like in the future, and it might vary a lot. So even though we're getting 250 cards right now, we might get more in the future, and we do know that they're planning at least 4 sets after Arthurian Legends, so lots of fun coming up.
If we take a look at the early days in Magic, the original alpha set in Magic was 300 cards, and that was also the same with Beta and Unlimited and Revised, give or take a few cards. So if you compare the early Magic days to Sorcery, Sorcery is a bigger set, and that is also true if we look at the first few expansions that we had in Magic the Gathering. The first expansion was Arabian Nights, which only had 78 cards, and after that came Antiquities that only had 85 cards. The limits were blown right out of the water when Legends was released, because Legends had 310 cards and was a mammoth of a set. But still, the point stands that the first Sorcery set and the first expansion set, Arthurian Legends in Sorcery, is very much comparable to the early days in Magic, and nobody was complaining about the set sizes at that point.
Right now, we're in the middle of summer and we are in the final lull, the final few months before Arthurian Legends releases in the fall. So this is actually the perfect time to get into the game. If you're out there and you're thinking about playing Sorcery, definitely do it now. There's still a few months to get a really good grasp of beta and the just basic rules of the game, and all the while you still have time to play enough games to get pretty familiar with it before Arthurian Legends releases in the fall.
So you want to attend an event near you, check out the Sorcery social network where you can see all the upcoming events, and also do note that Sorcery Contested Realm has gotten a booth at Gen Con in August. So if you want to check out the team, check out the game in person, go to Gen Con.
And we will be right here on Cardboard Guide making a lot of content on Sorcery Contested Realm all the way up to the release in October, where we will have the first unveiling at Spiel October 3rd. I will be coming, so do please remember to come up and say hi if you will be at Spiel too.
Oh yeah, and don't forget that we have been printing Dense Forest card that you can get from Sophie if you go say hi to her. And if you want to know what cards you could be chasing and what might be curious in Arthurian Legends, you can check out this video up here. And with that being said, thank you to all our YouTube channel members and our patrons. You are helping us and we love and appreciate your support immensely.
And don't forget, if you are a member of either place, both the YouTube channel memberships and also on Patreon, do be sure to check out for a future post, perhaps next week, about the signed cards options that we have for you, so we can send you your cards.